We are live on the Virtual Grip Network, and once again we hop the DeLorean to travel back to 1966 for this season's YesterYear Tour Modifieds, where some of the best Tour Mod drivers will compete for one of the most prestigious and unique titles on the iRacing platform, the Old Red Boot. After a month of turning wrenches, the drivers are set to tame the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway as we kick off part 2 of a doubleheader, the Tennessee 100. When we ran this race back in '66, Jimmy Griggs absolutely obliterated the competition. Griggs led from start to finish, lapping every driver except second place, Wayne McGuire. I'm Zach Chapman, a.k.a. Shaggy, along with my partner in crime, Jeremy Gridlock Scott. We're lucky enough to have the heartbeat of VGN bringing us all our sights and sounds, the one and only Ryan Seneker. Now, before we break down the Tennessee 100, let's turn the clock back one more time and talk about Week 4. Tom Ogle came into the Fairgrounds with a lit fuse and burnt the competition. Ogle got the early lead, and the Tire Whisperer held on to bring home his first win of the season. Points leader Todd Liston overcame an early incident and brought home a respectable 9th place finish. While he saw his point lead diminish slightly, he pulls off the trailer tonight with a 14-point lead over Tom Ogle. Brian Johnson, along with Kenny Allen and Jeffrey Harden, who are tied for Rookie of the Year, are so close they can almost taste that point lead, as the top 5 drivers are all within 20 points. With the championship being so close, will we see aggression play a factor as we get set to roll for 100 laps in the Tennessee 100? But now it's time to listen up because, well, it's been a month, so let's run through this format here. Remember, 1966 is the theme this season, so restarts, all of them, single file. Fast repairs, never. They never had those. 13 incident points will result in a drive-through penalty, and 17 will result in a complete disqualification. Now, 100 laps tonight, I don't expect a lot of tire changes, but the guys can do it as many times as they want. Tires are unlimited. No lucky dogs. Can the race end under caution? You bet it can. So the boys need to behave. And, not a lot of tinkering. A little rear brake adjustments, steering, maybe adjustments, small things like that, because the setups are fixed tonight. Now, Jeremy, I know you're new to the gang here. You weren't with us the last time we were here, but there was a fireworks show a month ago, and, man, the drivers could race almost anywhere they needed to. Seemed like this track was high side dominant, but maybe the preferred line ended up being, that bottom tonight, since we're only going 100 laps. How do you manipulate the car, make the tires last, and bring home a win tonight?
I don't need to overdrive. That's the first thing. Second of all, you got to make sure that you're not in the wall. Third of all, and most importantly, even though you can change the tires, you still got to be easy with them, because I think that this is going to be a single, maybe 1.5 groove track. Because 100 laps, it's going to go by really quick. But I think that what we're going to see is some great racing action. We might see some bumping and shaking to get for position.
Now, Jeremy, I've mentioned it before. You haven't had the privilege of hearing it, but we talk about the OBRL drivers maybe having a somewhat advantage, or not the OBRL, excuse me, the BRL drivers, because, when you call their races on Saturday nights, you don't get any new sets of tires. And tonight, the perfect example, man, 100 laps, and I think those guys may be able to nurse their stuff, not need to go down pit road like maybe some of these other guys do.
Well, you mentioned Todd Liston, the points leader. He's a front runner in BRL, so it would not be surprised to see him try and run the whole 100 laps with new tires. Bruce Pearson really coming onto his own later on this season. But yeah, Daryl Weininger, Tom Ogle, would not be surprised to see if they maybe try a pit strategy. It's going to be interesting to see who stays out, who decides to go in. And I think we're set for a fun 100 laps here as qualifying's wrapping up.
Yeah, definitely going to be fun. And one of those nights where, JR and I will normally say qualifying maybe doesn't matter. But, man, 100 laps here, that's only 60 miles, Jeremy. So qualifying could be a big part of the story. And speaking of, I think it's wrapped up. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the rundown. Starting on the pole, Daryl Weininger to the outside, Tom Ogle.
And row 2, you've got Ken Allen on the outside with Scott Negus alongside.
Row 3 to the inside, the double deuce, Bruce Pearson to the outside, Brian Johnson.
New Papa and points leader Todd Liston will be alongside Brian F. in row 4.
Jeffrey Harden, the man leading the Rookie of the Year standings, to the inside of Randy Schuler for row 5.
If you take a look at row 6, on the outside, you've got Torrance Childs in the 5 and Alan Wanamaker in the 9.
Jerry Isaacs lines up on the inside of row 7 to the outside, Jeff Leemeyer.
And with Bill Martin in the 94 and Steve Hilbert make up row 8.
The boss man, Lowell Jewell to the inside of row 9 to the outside, the Lipper, Chris Hazlett.
The Chief Tom Hilbert, number 25, with John Hastings alongside, making up row 10.
Brian Bianchi lines up to the inside of row 11 to the outside, Mark Fish.
And bringing up the rear end of the field, Tail and Charlie, it's Michael Dow in the 61. 23 cars set for 100 laps of racing here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
Yeah, very interesting, too. You know, not throwing shade at these guys, Jeremy, but I just mentioned how important qualifying is. I didn't see any penalties on a penalty report. Man, 4 guys not putting in a lap time here. That takes some cojones, I think, to try to work through this big field here in 100 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I'm very surprised that we saw 4 cars not take time. Maybe they're running an alternate strategy and thinking that, come in, get tires, maybe somewhere between laps 40 and 60, and work through the field. But I don't know. I just, the only time I see tires coming into play is probably when we have cautions.
Yeah, and even then, I know, well, not here with us tonight, but JRL talks so much about how the good drivers can bring that tire temperature back under control under caution and, maybe get a little bit more life out of them. But it'll be interesting to see if that new grip will be worth it as we roll off of 4 for the final time. We're set to take the green flag here at the Fairgrounds. 100 laps to play, and we're underway.
Well, so far, Tom Ogle getting out to an early lead. No surprise there. We've seen how good he's been so far this season. Daryl Weininger falling back. Still side by side for about a 4th on, 5th on back now, as everybody's starting to get nice and relaxed.
Hey, you see the points leader there in the 87. Got a pretty good view of that double deuce in front of him, trying to work that bottom. Maybe he can come up and clear. Didn't do it, stayed in line, but we got a caution flag here already, man. Gloves are off here. Like I say, no time, 100 laps, got to go.
Yeah, we're hearing it could be Schuler with the issues. If we can get a replay here, and indeed we will. And probably just another case of just coming off the high line and see, I'm just losing it.
Yeah, and you see the 9. Oh, yeah, oh, man, wow. Do you see the 9? Barrel rolls there, Jeremy. The 9 ball, man. Wild ride early.
Schuler, Wanamaker, and Isaacs all involved. We'll get another look at this. This time on board, Jerry Isaacs, and it looks like that just sympathy pull off. And he just got checked up by the 5, and over goes the 9 of Wanamaker.
That's one of the toughest ones there, Jeremy. You don't check up in time, so you don't want to make the guy in front of you pay the price, but you don't realize there's a giant wreck to the inside. There's no way he saw that riding in the race car, and man, that is tough. You're seeing 2 cars still sitting on pit road. I mean, it might be an early night for Wanamaker and Isaacs.
Well, I think that's what the cool kids call ARCA brakes.
Yeah, that's a very good point here. Very, very good point. Let's see if the lights stay on the pace truck. I think I may have chatted a little too much here. If the lights go off, we won't pull anything. Now they're staying on. Okay, do you want to pull anybody up, Jeremy? You're the new guy. Who do we want?
Yeah, let's pull up Jeffrey Harden. See if he decides to pick up.
Yeah, you take him.
Hey, Jeff, it's Jeremy. Kind of surprised. Got to look at the date today, don't you?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on, Jeremy?
All right, so let's talk about this. I know Saturday nights you guys don't have to change tires. What are your thoughts? How was it in practice? You think you're going to have to change tires throughout the race?
Yeah, if you get anything in the next 20, 30 laps, you're definitely going to want to take tires.
Interesting to know. All right. Good luck here. And I think you guys are coming back to the green here shortly.
All right, thanks. Have a good broadcast, guys.
So Jeffrey Harden saying, yeah, 20 laps. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, and the true professional, I didn't jump in for my question because I saw the lights go off, and look at that. I mean, you slammed him out of here. Said, get out. We don't want to take you up here. You're a busy man, so do it.
Exactly. I knew we were coming to back to green because it seems like that the past couple of races, even with us, it's been 2-3 laps for caution. So the race control really doing a good job of keeping these cautions quick and tidy.
And remember, no green, white, checkered. So all these laps count, and they really matter. But here, as pace truck pulls off, we enter that little box. He can fire anytime. He does. Tom Ogle with a good restart, but not the best. Daryl Weininger's still close, and if you peek back, you take a look back a month ago. No spoilers here, but Daryl Weininger got real close to winning this thing, but just ran out of time. So Weininger, he's got to apply the pressure. Can't allow Ogle to get too much tension led on that leash.
Keep an eye on Scott Negus as well. He's running the stock iRacing paint scheme. We take a look at the battle for 8th place between Harden in the 36 and the 27 of Brian Johnson. Again, we're going to watch that tire fall off here, I would say within the next 8 laps or so, but so far so good out of the 36 of Harden. He's got his eyes set on Todd Liston.
Yeah, Harden, one of those guys that definitely, if he's got that attitude, Jeremy, I think I like the pit maybe 20, 30 laps, but if that's your plan, go up here and use it, and I think that's what he's going to do. Try to push this pace, force the other guys to pit as well, and that's really smart. 14 of Bianchi working his way to the front. Started 21st, up to 15th is the big mover. Now, obviously, you got some of those for free with the caution, but you always got to keep an eye out on that 14.
Yeah, I had Bianchi trying to hold off the boss man of old Jewel. Jewel trying to catch up to Bill Martin in the 94. I want to go back to the tires because we saw that this season is a new tire model for the modifieds. And it seems like that they rise and they don't fall off too much like some of the other oval track series. So that's another storyline to watch as we see the 5 of Childs go up high. Well, Jewel's going to take another position.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think that's where we see the new tire model kind of get mad at you. As you're talking about Torrance Childs. You go up there, you get some rubber on those tires, get out of the groove. Now Bianchi doing the same thing. I mean, you've got to let them cool off. You've got to ride that rubber off, shake it off for the next lap or two. You can't be aggressive. And it's really added to the realism. iRacing, thumbs up once again.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago at VRL, it was the only time I can count that we had passes on the high side. The rest of the season so far, passes have been down low, like we're seeing the 14 of Bianchi.
Battle for the lead, Ryan. Let's go to the front, brother. Weininger to the inside. Side by side, going down the backstretch.
Ogle with a quick tap, and of course, we're going to see what Weininger has. So far, he has the nose out front, but it only counts once you cross the line. Give Weininger the lead once again.
Man, big time move, because I'm telling you, if you rewind, you go back and watch that thing, a lot of it was Tom Ogle just being able to control the pace. That's no shot at him. He was very fast, but it seemed like as the tires aged, couldn't really get much passing done on the bottom. So he was able to get out front, just kind of leave the lid open a little bit, give you some hope, but not enough to get by. And now Daryl is going to try to have to mimic what he went against a month ago. As somebody's going down pit road, I believe that maybe Wanamaker maybe didn't like the repairs there, just not running good enough. But battle on once again. Man, Tom Ogle to the bottom, Jeremy.
Yeah, Tom Ogle trying to get that lead back, and of course now that he has kept Weininger up high, it's going to be easy now, just a matter of time of Weininger getting back down low, because if he can't get low enough, Negus is going to take advantage of that. So move Ogle back to the point as they cross the lines. You got that battle going on. You got the battle for 5th place between Brian Neff and Doubledays Bruce. Just great battles all around. Right now, Neff has that position, but Pearson's going to try and step it up. Also, watch who's coming through the field as well. It's Bianchi and Martin. Martin trying to go 3 wide there coming off the 4.
Yeah, Bianchi looked like he got the elbows out there going into 3. Maybe a little contact with that car's back. I believe that is the 15 of Jeff Lemire. he got shoved out a little bit, but able to get back down. But Bianchi, man, we've talked about him. He's always quick. I mean, we've had 4 races so far this year, Jeremy. That man's won 2 of them. He's just had some bad luck in the other 2.
Wow, hey, Allen running high, coming off a 3 and 4, so he'll lose a spot to Brian Neff. Might be losing a spot to Pearson if Pearson can get on that rear bumper, but nonetheless, Neff another high mover. In spite of him up 4 since the grid, this restart, he's made up, what, 2-3 spots? Do we have a spinner? I think Hazlip had an issue. No, that's going to be the 25 of Hilbert, Tom Hilbert, that is, and we're under yellow.
Oh, man. We were talking about paint schemes, Jeremy. Let's let the fans back behind the curtain. This is the first time we've seen this thing, and man, not a good night here. As you see, dives off into 1. Just maybe drove it in a little too hard, and maybe the wheels started to hop. I mean, what are you seeing there, Jeremy?
I just think it just broke a little loose there coming through turn 1. If we can take a look, it almost looks, it's funny. Tom's paint scheme almost looks literally the opposite from Brother Steve. So let's see here. Yeah, the car just gets loose coming through turn in between 1 and 2, and once you get on the bottom, it's game over.
Interesting to see here. Nobody coming down taking tires. Let's pull up a man we haven't really talked to this season, I don't believe. Brian Neff, driver of the 60. Let's pull him up. And around in 4th place. Hey, Brian, Shaggy in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, man, I got you. Hey, you look pretty good right now. Row 2. How are we feeling? Well, I guess row 4, single file restarts. What am I saying? I mean, how are we feeling? Are we just nursing tires right now, Brian?
I'm moving forward. I don't know if I'm nursing tires, but I'm a little bit concerned with the pace right now. But you know, you got to kind of do what you got to do.
That's kind of where I was getting at. You guys are running some good lap times. Do you think you're going to take advantage of a caution, maybe hop down pit road eventually?
Well, it'll depend on what everybody else does. You know, a lot of smart guys in here, and I've found that I get hung out a lot if I try and think for myself. So, you know, you kind of got to go with what everybody's doing.
Hammer away, Jeremy.
I got to say this, Neff, that was a fantastic restart you had. You made up, what, 3-4 positions? What's it going to take to kind of get up near the front?
Well, I'm probably going to ride here now. These 3 guys in front of me seem to be moving pretty good. So if I can ride where I'm at, I'm going to ride for a while, I think.
Sounds
Hey,
good.
man.
I'm good.
Yeah, lights are off, Brian. Go get him, brother.
All righty, guys. Thanks a lot.
Chris Hazlip
Now-
in and out of the pits with a 13-second pit stop.
I just feel like I got to tell the truth. Mark Martin's net Xfinity car, that Winn-Dixie thing, my favorite paint job of all time as a kid. That's why we had to talk to Brian. Best paint job out there. I'll say it every week. As Tom Ogle gets ready to drop the hammer one more time. We're over a quarter of the way through, lap 27 underway, and that is a good restart for Tom Ogle.
Yeah, 1 car length of the course right now. Look who's going to the inside. It's Brian Neff in the 60. Wasn't too sure if he was going to make that move, and he said he was going to ride around, but still also has some great paddles near the back. Is let's see here, side by side for 12th, I believe, between Lemire and Jewel.
And we saw Lemire kind of get shoved out early on. Now, if anybody's wondering, because, well, I am, Chris Hazlip is the first car to hit pit road in the 93. And, well, he may have gotten some damage because I jinxed him. He's coming back down pit road. Darn you, Shaggy.
Well, that was a good pit stop out of the 93. He's been bitten by the bad luck bug these past couple of weeks, so kind of sad that he's back under pit road. We're watching Brian Johnson hold off Bianchi into 14. He's the highest mover of the race, 11 spots from his grip position. And Bianchi's just going to take that open front door saying, thank you very much, Brian Johnson. Move up 1 spot.
Yeah, and, you know, making it easy. He's passed a lot of guys, but you've seen, I mean, he's comfortably running that middle, Jeremy, and I like that. I don't think he's getting into that wheel as much. He's not working the race car. Those tire temps cool, and Bianchi, I think he's still going to have something left in the tank if he can get up there with these top 3 guys.
I'm kind of surprised that the middle line's working. I would have thought by now that we would have had the low line working, but then again, Nashville always proves to have some strange lines as We are on board with Bill Martin right now, running in the 11th spot, trying to get in that top 10 and get around Brian Johnson. And Johnson's just trying to stop the bleeding as he's fallen 4 spots since his grid spot, but still not the worst. Randy Schuler down 6 from where he started in the top 10.
Now, Jeremy, okay, I mean, it's right there on the side of the car. So Ryan opened this up for discussion. I have to do it. Is Yoo-Hoo chocolate milk or is it chocolate water? I mean, what are we calling it? I'm going chocolate water.
You know what? I may be a Midwestern boy, Harp, but it is definitely chocolate water.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's chocolate water. You can't. I mean, it's powder. I have this discussion with another driver who runs the Yoo-Hoo as a sponsor. Oh man, come on. You got to go Nestle. You're gonna go chocolate milk.
Well,
go Nestle.
I'm sure you're going to hear every other word now because Ryan's just going to sit there on the switcher, just off, on. As we see the 87 Liston try and get around the inside of Hardin again. Liston, your points leader, only fallen 1 spot so far, but he's really got to get up there because Tom Ogle right now in first place, and yeah, falling another spot as Yankee goes to the inside of Liston. Not very good if you want to keep that points lead. Now you got to try and stay low, so. Might be time for new tires here for Liston's going to lose 2, maybe 3 spots.
You aren't kidding. I mean, that was a 6 cents by you right when you chimed in on him. He was catching that race car coming out of port. He is really fighting this car. And I told you guys, let you guys behind the curtain once again. I watched Liston. He was really struggling in practice off the floor. I mentioned that to you guys. He was really slipping and sliding. And the track, I mean, it did get a little cooler, so it should be a little more grip. But Liston, man, not having a lot of success, and that's your point leader right now, falling outside of the top 10.
Well, of course, this is essentially a test session for him because in 2 weeks, BRL is going to be back here, week and a half, I should say, at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And yeah, speaking of temperature, ambient 69, track temperature 73. So yeah, this track is cooling off. We're watching the battle for the lead once again. Weininger looking to the inside of Tom Ogle into turn 1. Ogle, though, running that tight middle line up high is Negus. He's making that higher line work for him, which is kind of interesting. Let's see if Weininger tries and puts a nose on the inside too far away to make anything happen through 3 and 4.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, Weininger there, he's putting the pressure, but the real guy I want to watch there's that dog into 29, man. He is hunting both of them, as you see. The 31 work into the inside here. Let's see if Schuler can complete the pass. Not just yet. You see that 5. He's got the run coming off the high side. It's all if you can go up there and shut the door. He does. And now we see Hardin here battling to the outside. Yankee trying to move him up.
I was going to say, yeah, Bianchi trying to make the pass on the inside, but Hardin's not going to make it easy for him. They're still going side by side. It seems like Hardin's one of the few, he's one of the few cars that can run that high side. No surprise there, but he's making it stick right there. And Liston finally got a spot back at the top 10, past Bill Martin to the inside.
I feel like, especially in a 100-lap sprint, you got to make the guy work for it. If you're going to open up the bottom, try to make him burn up those tires. So hopefully you can get back to him maybe 10 or 15 laps from now. And, I mean, maybe we're seeing that with the 99 of Weininger. He got to the front, maybe made the 13, worked a little hard to get on by, and now with coming up to the halfway point, he's reeling the fishing pole back in.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. You definitely want to make these guys work for it because some of them are, like I said, are using this as a 100-lap test for the next race. And a lot of them, they're just out there to have a good time. We're taking a look at our early spin cycle driver. It's Alan Wanamaker. He's only lost about 20 laps due to repairs. But, yeah, there is your leader, the 13 of Ogle. Now we're starting to get into lap traffic, so the games begin between Ogle, Weininger, and even Negus. Negus still within striking distance to make anything happen. He's just an interested spectator at this point.
Yeah, I think he knows. No, I don't want to jinx this here, Jeremy. I hope we go the rest of the way, but it might get a little physical here in the closing laps. Might get a caution bunch up the field, so you don't need to run what you brung right now. You can save some of it. I think that's what we see Scott Negus doing. Man, Alan Wanamaker, those guys, they're already struggling there with the damaged race cars. Last thing, well, I guess Alan already is 20 laps down, so he'll pull out of the way. But guys like Hazlett there, he wants to sit at that 1 lap down mark. You never know, a couple guys may crash out. That's a couple free spots, as the 9 ball does. He pulls right on over, gentlemanly thing, gets out of the way.
that discretion being the better part of valor for the 9 car. And of course, we're still watching this battle right here for the lead. Also, we're still watching Jeffrey Hart, Brian Johnson move up through the field, Bianchi moving up through the field. He's up 14 spots, so the biggest mover of the race so far. But Harden is still solidly in the top 10. It's Ogle, Weininger, Negus your top 3. Allen, Neff, Double Deuce in 6th, 7th, Bianchi, Johnson, and Harden, as well as Liston, rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, speaking of the Double Deuce and Bianchi here, battle about to be on. Bianchi setting him up here, trying to counter underneath. He takes a peek. The Double Deuce here gives him a little extra room. Sees a float up, Bianchi. Oh, man, I thought he was going around.
You know, I got to say this. That was a good fake move there out of Bianchi, trying to go Pearson into going, leaving that high line open. And once he shut the door, that's when Bianchi made his move. We're also watching this battle for position as well. I believe it's 81 and the 60. So Neff and Allen for 4th spot. And Bianchi's looking at this thinking, maybe I can get back into the top 5.
And remember, Allen, one of those guys right now in that points discussion, and with Liston running currently 9th. And that's a pretty good day for him. I mean, he's getting a solid chunk back, so he doesn't want to do anything too crazy. At the same time, he'd like to move on up through the field a little bit, so maybe going to let it come to him. But we're watching Brian Johnson here working on that Mission 22 of the Double Deuce, Bruce Pearson. Bruce there with a good exit out of 4, maybe opens up the gap just a little bit here, but Brian really good through 1 and 2.
And something that I've noticed too out of Bruce, he's been able to hang with Bianchi much better than some of the other drivers. And yeah, right there we see Pearson reeling in the 14 of Bianchi through turns 1 and 2. So finally, I think Bruce has gotten that car to hook up on that bottom line. One of the few drivers to do it so far tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mean to just talk about those BRL guys. That's not what I do when I say this. But, and now the Double Deuce. He pulls to the, oh, no, what happened to the Double Deuce?
Oh, no. You know what?
Oh, man, he had a software issue or something there.
Yeah, he had that last week as well, so no surprise that Pearson's still dealing with some issues. Unfortunately, that means that he has lost several positions, falls out of the top 10. Let's see what happens here in the replay. And the wheel and the pedals just decide that they don't want to participate.
I'll tell you what, good job of him, whatever was going on there, not freaking out, just letting the problem resolve, keeping the wheel straight. That could have been bad for the guys behind him, but good heads-up move there by the Double Deuce. Kind of taking a look back at the lead here. Tom Ogle. Now we're going to hop back. Where are we looking here, Ryan? The Lipper, and then we got the 61 here of Hilbert.
Hilbert, Hazlett, and
Michael Dow. Excuse me. Yeah, Michael Dow.
Michael Dow all in position, and car going high, getting out of the way with the slower cars, but nonetheless, even 1 lap down, you've got some great positions as Michael Dow trying to get around Chris Hazlett there for that 18th spot. Here's your battle for the lead between Ogle and Weininger once again, as John Hastings now the next car to become 1 lap down. Here comes Lemire. He's the last car on the lead lap, and he's just going to let the leaders go by. But unfortunately, Negus kind of has a little bad braking spot, 2nd behind Weininger, so a little too late in the race to make anything happen. His laps ticking away, and I think the sands in the hourglass for Negus means that he needs to make sure that Brian Neff, I should say, stays a little bit too far away. So getting in my drag racing mind there for a second.
Yeah, going to be really interesting to see, though. Not that I want one to happen, but it would be an interesting mix. Right now, we only have 12 cars on the lead lap, Jeremy. If we got a caution, do you consider maybe coming down pit road, getting new tires?
Oh, yeah. No, I would definitely consider it because, we're right in that sweet spot where you need those tires. So we'll see what happens. I think there's going to be a handful of drivers in the back half of the top 10 that do come out and get tires.
With that, man, wouldn't that be a story? Because as we mentioned, old style NASCAR rules here. So if you go down, you're going to start at that tail end of the lead lap. You'll be behind the lap cars, but I mean, odds are those lap cars aren't going to fight you too hard, and maybe the new rubber would be enough. Man, oh, I thought they were going to go 3 wide.
Yeah, going 3 wide. I mean, we're late enough in the race to where if you want to go 3 wide, it's not the end of the world, but you don't necessarily want to do it. It's probably just an out of necessity thing. You don't force yourself. Oh, a little wiggle there. I'm wondering if Bianchi's losing his tires because now Johnson's passed him. That's the first car to pass him all race long.
Yeah, well, don't say it too quick. There, he fought back on the outside. Brian got a little loose on the inside. He gets a little loose on entry. Man, these guys are really trying to work this race car, and boy, we still got over 30 laps to go, Jeremy, so they better save a little bit here. Long way to go.
Well, this is a sprint race compared to last weekend, so yeah, I think drivers are getting a little feisty out there. As you have Bianchi getting back into that 6th spot as your leader working around the 42 of Mark Fish, put him another lap down. That's about the biggest lead we've seen Ogle have all race long, about 3 car lengths from Weininger, as Weininger trying to reel him in just a little bit. There's going to be one of the Hilbert brothers. That's going to be Tom Hilbert. And then I believe Torrance Child sitting up there ahead.
Man, wouldn't this be interesting here? I know Daryl Weininger wants this so bad. He was so close last week. With 30 laps to go, I mean, he was not this close with this amount of time. Daryl's got to get to work, though. Did he save enough here to work on the 13?
Going to be interesting if that is the case. Is now look at how much he's reeled in. He's going to look to the inside between 2, 3, and 4. And Weininger, he's going to make a case for the lead here with 73 laps in the books once they cross the line. Ogle has the point by 0.2 of a second.
Now this is what Tom was doing a month ago. He would leave the bottom open, but Daryl didn't have enough grip left in those tires to work the bottom. Did Daryl save enough? Can he find a way to make it work? Because you saw when he got pinched down there in 3 and 4, I mean, he's 3/10 off. He just made half a tenth back there in 1 and 2. But Jeremy, one mistake here, you see, it's going to take him maybe 3, 4 laps to even work himself to make another move.
I mean, there's plenty of time to see what happens as Lowell Jewell ends up into the pits as well. We'll cover that in a second. And we see Liston and Pearson making moves, and Bianchi trying to hold off Johnson once again. So the battle for 6th place rages on between the 14 and the 27. One has to wonder how those tires, the 14, are working so far. As once again, Weininger has caught up to Ogle, and this is going to be interesting to see what happens, Zach, because we saw that, Weininger only made 1 move and wasn't able to complete it.
Yeah, and like I say, I mean, we're coming up right now, would be 3 laps. It took him that long to catch back up. So Daryl, not only does he have to make the move work, but he's got to time it. Maybe go as early as he can that way. Jeremy, if it doesn't work again, he can try to go back to the works here. But now we're coming up on the lap car. So, I mean, Alan Wanamaker, awesome job getting out of the way again, though. Thought maybe that would affect the run. And Daryl now, he's stalling out. He's standing right around that 210 mark, Jeremy. You getting kind of scared?
No, but Zach, here's the thing. Watch that front end between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm noticing that the car's starting to get just a little tight through the middle of the corner.
It does seem that way because right as I said that, I mean, he had caught him through 3 and 4, so it looks like the 99 maybe a little better here through 3 and 4. He gains a 10. And then he gives it back up, as we'll see. Does he push up the hill here in the center of 1 and 2 again? Not as bad, but you can see about half a groove higher. But the lap car slows down Tom Ogle. But man, Weininger not able to make a move.
Yeah, Weininger, he's able to catch up. He just can't get out and challenge Ogle. Of course, Ogle ran a little lower than he has the past couple of laps. Niga's still too far away to make anything happen, but the more this battle goes on, now we're starting to see him enter into the equation.
Yeah, he's creeped into that 2-second marker. He had fallen to about 2.2, I believe. He's got it to 1.7, now in the 6s here. Jeremy, it's a case of 2, and not that it's necessarily fair, but it seems like, the lap cars, they're doing a good job of pulling out of the way of the leader, don't get me wrong. But the further we go back through the field, the easier it gets. You know what I mean? Maybe Scott not having to race these guys as hard as maybe Tom and Daryl are right now.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Zach, because some of these cars are multiple laps down, so they know what to expect. Bill Martin, actually, he's going to go one lap down. Look who goes to the inside. It's YYR. He's going to use Martin as a pick. Through 1 and 2. Gets a nose out. That is fantastic racing. And the caution's out. Oh, the 14, Bianchi into the wall.
Caution flag waves. Now, this is going to be interesting because I really don't know if we go back to the previous lap or if it's a timing loop. It's a timing loop, and Daryl YYR is out front, ladies and gentlemen, as we see what happened. Bianchi. Oh, man. Little tap there in the left rear. He goes around. That's a tough run there for the 14.
Yeah, Chris Hazlip, unfortunately, the issue there. Who do you want to pick, Zach, or do you want me to grab somebody?
You go ahead, man. You go ahead. Oh, let's see here. Is Ogle, seriously, are these guys... Oh, my gosh. They're coming down pit road. We can't grab
they're coming down pit road.
Well,
we called it. That's what we said. We figured that somebody would come in this time by. Let's cover these pit stops, and we'll bring somebody in for a quick question. But, yeah, this is kind of interesting to see this happen so late. Now, here's the question, Zach. Do you take 2 or do you take 4 tires?
Well, okay, that is a great question. And I think if you're up front, maybe you think about taking 4. But I believe, it takes a little longer for these pit stops. If you were in the back, I don't think you can take 4. And Tom Ogle, did he win the race up? I think the race was to the cone. It looked like he won to the last white line, but I believe that is a little misleading. YYR back to the front. Man, oh man. Oh, that could be the move of the race there. Daryl, right before the caution comes out.
Yeah, I think that was the move of the race. Here's what's interesting, too. You're going to have 2-lap cars behind the pace truck right there when we come back to green. And lights, I think they're still on for now. Let's hold off on getting somebody, because I think we're close to going green here shortly.
Yeah, they're still on. Should click off next time, as I believe those 2 cars up front, they did not come down pit road. So now, this, I'm only in my 30s here, Jeremy, so be nice to me. When I was a kid, I believe, you stay out there in the old NASCAR days, you're going to get a wave around here, right? That's why they did that?
I believe no, they're not going to get a wave around. No, they're not going to get a wave around. The lights are on the pace truck, but they're going to do the sportsman thing and drop low and let the leaders pass them by. So good on Tom Hilbert and Michael Dow for letting that happen. Yeah, I'm in my mid-30s too, so no hate here.
Okay, good. All right, I just, I didn't want to, get any shade thrown my way for being a dummy. Just had to get predated here as you see the pace truck get ready to dive off. Ladies and gentlemen, we're set for a 12-lap shootout here. Hopefully they stay green, but who knows? We're tightened up. We're back ready to play. Everybody's got sneakers. We dive off into turn 1.
Yeah, so far so good. And Negus goes high automatically with those new tires. Not the smart thing to do, but maybe he knows something that we don't as the leaders work their way around to turns 3 and 4. It's still YYR, Ogle, and Negus. You're on the left front. I got to say, this left front camera here, I love it because you can see the suspension moving all about and the tires. Oh, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, you see every little bump, and I'll tell you, you know as well as I do, these force feedback wheels, man, they feel it. And it just, oh man, 100 laps around this place can really beat you up. But we're down to 10, and Tom Ogle, who arguably had the fastest 1-lap race pace here, can he get to the front? I just don't know. Daryl's doing a good job there hugging that inside.
Yeah, we might have a couple of cars that decide to play into factor with 9 laps to go. I'm not sure, though. We might actually have a straight-up race as Ogle looks to the inside of YYR.
Yeah, you see purple there for YYR, but green below for Ogle. That means he's a little quicker. He got loose coming out of 2 that last time and had to let it gather up with that 13, man. He is sniffing. He wants to go back-to-back here at the Fairgrounds.
battle for third back there between Negus and Neff. Neff looking to the inside, see if we can get back to that battle as Neff automatically takes that so far. Gonna dive low, so Negus not able to get the bite that he had early on in the race with these new tires. Move Neff to the front 4 now. I have a feeling Negus, though, isn't done with the 60 car.
Oh, slow on the inside. Todd Liston. That's your point leader. Exactly, Jeremy. That's tough. Doing a good job of not bringing out a caution. But, man, he's going to have to go down pit road.
Yeah, Liston already having a rough race. He'll probably lose that points lead, but there's this battle as well from Pearson and Harden. That is the battle for 6th place, as Harden going to try and go high, wide, and handsome, but he's not able to make that one stick either. But that's probably the closest battle. We got several of them, but Harden trying to get around Pearson. Pearson, though, not going to let it happen.
Yeah, Pearson just better hope Harden isn't a cat guy. Or, you know, he's going to go up there and give that left rear shot right on that puppy dog. We'll have to see here. But now we're back up to Brian as he's trying to hold off Scott Negus as we're 3 laps to go this time by, and Tom Ogle got the lead back down to within a 10.5 here. Man.
Weiner kissed the wall there coming out of turn 2 a little bit. That's giving Ogle a chance to reel himself in. He's looking to the inside. Weininger shuts the front door on him going into turn 1.
And I don't big slip up there from the 13 of Tom Ogle coming out of 2, and I don't know if he has enough time as we roll through 3 and 4. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go at the fairgrounds.
Still plenty of time, and I think that Ogle's going to try and dive deep. He's closing in on Weininger. We've got a spinner at the back, but nonetheless, we're still clean and green. There's a slower car. That's not going to come into play. But, Zach, I got to say this. Weininger played the cards right. He's going to win tonight.
Held off Tom Ogle, and you saw there a car spun out across. That was Brian Neff. And, man, oh, man, look at that. We're gonna see it scroll across here, but man, I don't think we had many cars finish on the lead lap here tonight. Tonight ended up being rough, but what a way to pick up your first win, Daryl Weininger. I mean, he ran P2 a month ago to Tom Ogle, and he wasn't going to do it twice. Daryl Weininger with a big win here. Ken Allen, the man in the Rookie of the Year standing, rounding out the podium there, but. We're going to step away here for a quick minute. Let Daryl try to do some donuts on this tight racetrack. Don't wad it up there, Daryl. We're going to step away, and we'll be right back with your rundown and interviews for your top 3. Stick around. We're back live on the Virtual Grip Network, and what an action-packed 100 laps we just saw here at the Fairgrounds to wrap up the doubleheader. As we'll pull up those race results, you'll see there the 99 of Daryl Weininger bringing home his first win of the season, and man, it wasn't easy. Had to work his way around that 13 to Tom Ogle, who brought home P2, Kenny Allen third, the double deuce Bruce Pearson fourth, Jeffrey Harden rounding out the top five. Bill Martin sixth. Brian Neff and Scott Negus come home seventh and eighth after contact when the white flag flew, coming out of four. Those two bring home the last cars on the lead lap. Brian Bianchi ninth, and Jeff Lemire rounds out the top 10.
Well, the bottom half of the top 20 looked like this. Randy Schuler at 11th, John Hastings in 12th, Brian Johnson 13th, last car one lap down. Then you got Torrance Childs in 14th, Michael Dow 15th, Mark Fish 16th, Todd Liston 17th. A rough night for him as he spun out and smacked the wall. Tom Hilbert 18th, Chris Hazlett out of the race in 19th, and Alan Wanamaker in 20th.
Rounding out the field there, we got the final three. Lil Jewel, the boss man, coming home in the blackjack position. Steve Hilbert, 22nd, and Jerry Isaacs, 23rd. Not too sure there what happened to Isaacs. Trouble there on the first lap. 99 laps down. That's a tough one there for Isaacs. Wasn't able to get his way back out of the pit. Let's go ahead. Let's bring up the third place finisher. And you know something I just noticed? The top three, they started where they finished here. Ken Allen maybe didn't go as planned here, but you had quite the incident out the windshield and able to bring home P3, man. How we feeling?
Feeling lucky and good.
Well, you know, I mean, it seemed like, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously mentality is going to be different. You're only going 100 laps, but man, racetrack seemed a little different here tonight than it was a month ago. It just seemed like couldn't maybe roll that top side the way you guys were a month ago.
No, I was not comfortable with the car all night. I just kind of made a decision I was going to points race, and whatever happened, and lucky me, it happened.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Did we take a peek at that and see that, hey, man, maybe we made the right decision? I mean, I'm not good at math, but Kenny, I mean, you're going to be the Rookie of the Year leader for sure. And, man, the overall point leader looking pretty good here because you and Tom Ogle really getting out the shovel tonight.
Yeah. I wish I had him and Daryl's speed, but you know, when you're not comfortable and you can just have a good points night, I'll take that anytime.
Well, you know, next week we're rolling in, it is next week. Going 3 weeks in a row here. Thompson Speedway, man, how we feeling going into the little bull ring?
I'm glad I got a good point result this week because Thompson's a wild card. I love driving it, but it's so hard to pass. If you don't get a good qualifying, you're in for a long night. And
well, hey, man, you got to make sure you got to go to work this week in that 81, find some qualifying speed, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week. But heck of a run tonight, Kenny. Congratulations on the podium, brother. Who you want to thank?
Thank my wife, my son for working with me, get some practice in this week. Alan, of course, for putting the series on. And you guys at VGN always doing the top shelf broadcast.
Hey, man, we can't do it without guys like you putting on a show, and that's what you did tonight, Kenny. Congratulations, man. Hopefully we talk to you soon.
Yep, thanks.
All right, Jeremy, I think you got the guy who brought home P2. Who we got?
Yeah, we got Tom Ogle in the 13. First of all, Tom, man, you and Daryl had a heck of a show all night long, but in the end, the margin of victory was just a pip at the line coming out of the pits.
Yeah, he got me right there before the caution. Those cars he was probably a little bit better than me at the end of the long run, but he was gonna have to pass me on the bottom, and I was gonna hold him down, but he got me like through that big wreck on the backstretch. I didn't have the courage to blast up through there like he did, so he beat me by maybe a foot there. So once he was in front of the pit stops are so slow in this car, and we both only took 2. So I was hoping maybe to get him another shot at him, but he's good here. He was fast. He was fast all night. Like, he was probably better than me the whole night. Just, it's hard to pass. And he never gave me like a moment's rest.
I was going to say that, yeah, I mean, you guys were back and forth all night long, and even if you weren't side by side, you guys just yawned at each other, and it seemed like, to me, that middle groove really was working nice tonight compared to what we normally see here in the low groove.
So I think it could have been the setup, because the bumps would really upset the car. It wasn't like off of 2, the bumps were rough. And I think if you went up maybe, like a third of a car up, it really drove off the corner way nicer. But if you're leading, you can't risk letting that guy peek his nose under there either. So I kind of still had to go through the bumps, and it wore my tire out. My right rear tire was only 66% after that long run.
That's actually not bad for a long run nonetheless, but still a great showing. But second place, really not bad, because everybody's super competitive here. Is there anyone you want to thank?
I want to thank Alan for putting the league on. He does a ton of work and makes this league excellent. Daryl for running me really clean. There were a couple times where he would get in bottom, and he ran me clean all night. And actually, everybody ran us both clean when we were coming through traffic. And you guys for doing the announcing and putting on a great broadcast.
Yeah, it's that was a big story with the slower traffic moving high. Tom Ogle, your second place finisher. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you very much. Congratulations to Daryl. He punished me all night, and he got rewarded for it. He did a great job.
Yeah, and Zach, let's definitely bring in our winner, Daryl Weininger, who had a fantastic win here tonight.
Daryl, man, let's just go right at it, brother. First win of the season, but the winning move was through 1 and 2. You make the timing. I mean, dude, it was perfect. Did you have the crystal ball out? You look low, and caution flag flies. I mean, you couldn't have timed that any better.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's so good. We were just talking in the green room here that it felt like if I got up behind him a little bit, it made him a little loose. That was in the first run, and I wanted to be ready if something happened when he caught lap traffic. So I wasn't anticipating the caution coming out, but when I got out of 2, there was a whole bunch of cars in front of me, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm putting that car. So I just got lucky, I guess.
Now, well, I want to rewind a little further, but I'm going to come back to this. On that first run, now, I mentioned last week, Daryl, I think you'd admit it, you were the quickest car, or a month ago, you were the quickest car, but you just couldn't find a way around Tom at the end. And early on, you're able to get around Tom, but then you have a little bit of a hiccup, man, and he gets back by you. What's going through your head at that point? Were you worried you weren't going to get another chance? Because, man, I truthfully, in my heart, I kind of wrote you off. I thought it was going to be the same thing as a month ago.
Well, we all know how good Tom is, and I was just telling him. I think I was thinking when I passed him, I thought he tucked up underneath me, and I got a little loose. And I think that's the same thing he was thinking. Is like, oh, I see how he got around me. Just get him a little loose and get under me. And I thought, man, that Tom, he is so freaking smart. He's not going to wait to the end to figure out how to pass me. He's going to take an opportunity early in the race and say, if I have to pass this guy on the last lap, how am I going to do it? So, it was a good battle.
Now, when the caution flag flew, obviously Tom, he made the move a little early going into 3, kind of made it known he was going to pit. Did you just kind of pit out of self-defense, or did you plan on coming in and getting 2 tires?
I thanked him for that, because I was a little undecided, and as soon as I started seeing him going down, I was like, he had thought how many cars were on the lead lap, so that's why he wanted to pit. I had too much going on in my brain at that point to realize how many were on the lead lap, but I think that was the right move. And then once I got on pit lane, I'm like, he's going to go for 2. I know he is. So, and both he and I agree. We underestimated how hard we could push. I think the car was better on 2 right side tires on that last run. We actually could push harder, and I didn't really realize it until I was 3 or 4 laps in that the car was staying underneath me even better than at the start of the race.
No, yeah, man, you could see that. I think with 3 or 4 laps to go, you guys both ran your fastest laps of the race. So, I mean, you were really putting it down there at the end. And, man, you put on a hell of a show, Daryl. I'm glad you took this one, man. It's nice to add a new name to that win board. Hell of a run tonight, awesome. Man. Who you want to thank?
Thank you guys, and certainly thank Alan. He put so much time and effort into this. It's even in the best of leagues, you can tell that this is a bit of a passion thing for Alan. So, big thanks to him, and thanks for you guys, and thanks for my beautiful wife, who's probably not watching, and my parents who might be watching. So,
well, hey, I just thought of something. I don't want to kick you out just yet. So a little insider. Yeah. Daryl races over there in the OBRL. How'd the show go Sunday? Did you guys have fun at the All-Star?
I did not do the All-Star race. Sorry for letting the air out of that one. I didn't do the All-Star race. Okay. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I was practicing other tracks. So,
hey man, that's a smart move, Daryl. You got to sneak around those guys.
It's not a points race, and there's not between now and the playoffs. There's not a short track race on the schedule, so I might have been practicing other tracks.
Ooh,
hey Daryl, I'm gonna put my Daryl, I'm gonna put my suit pad on. When are you gonna come race with us on Saturday?
I have a girl in softball right now, and the high school season's in full swing. So give me another week or two, and I'll be back on Saturday night.
I was gonna say, I gotta figure out my playoff announcing schedule, so I totally get that. Can't wait to see you back, buddy. Congratulations.
Yep. Yes, thank you so much, man.
And that's Daryl Weininger bringing home the win here. And, well, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what's coming up next here on the Virtual Grip Network. Thursday this week. Oh, man, Phoenix Raceway and the Red Light Racing SK Modified. That is that's going to be fun, Jeremy. I might have to try to find my way into that. Get out there and drive.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's the old layout or the new layout. Phoenix is always a classic track with the mile and banks and everything. Of course, we're taking a week off at the Outlaw Invitational Modified Series and the Late Model Series, but we're back in 2 weeks here at Nashville Fairgrounds. But before that, got the YesterYear Cup Racing Series running Charlotte Motor Speedway after the real drivers run the 600.
Yeah, and then of course you take a peek down there at the bottom of the screen. This series, the YesterYear Tour Mod, we've been taking breaks in between, but I had mentioned there during the broadcast, 3 weeks in a row we're coming at you, so you better be ready on Tuesdays. Next week, Thompson Speedway, Little Bull Ring coming at you, 8:25 Eastern here on the Virtual Grip Network. But Jeremy, I'll tell you what, man, it was a lot of fun having you here for this Tennessee 100. I appreciate you showing up, man. You really added tonight.
Zach, I appreciate it. It was a blast to watch some great racing. Gets me excited for the rest of the season here on the Virtual Grip Network. So, Zach, I can't wait to be back next time, and we'll have to see when we can do it again.
As always, the YesterYear Tour Modified Series never disappoints. And like I said, make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, because we're coming back at you next Tuesday, 8:30. But on behalf of everyone here at the Virtual Grip Network, I'd like to thank my partner, Jeremy, the dude in the back, Ryan Seneker, and last but not least, all of you. Have a good night.